Hey, good morning. To be honest with you, when I moved to Tennessee a few years back, I retired. And just below the property we're on here, I bought a beautiful house on the lake, and I thought I was going to be fishing every day. And then I got the opportunity to buy this 147 acres of pristine, uncut forest right next to this house. I've actually homesteaded for the last 20 years on large pieces of property in Arizona and New Mexico. So I've done this my whole life. And now I'm retired. And I basically thought it might be time to share two things that I've learned that made me successful throughout the years. And it makes it fun. And I'm actually doing this as a hobbyist, but we're actually building another giant homestead here. And everything that I have, for any of the pictures and anything that you see, is all building this specific homestead in Tennessee. So this is going to be my final project, my final homestead. We actually have I call it the mill support shop, but we have a wood shop next to the mill. We built a kiln. I have a 36 by 36. We just call it the utility barn, where I keep my crane and equipment and things like that. We've also just finished, and what you're seeing is the deck is a 2,000 square foot home that I'm actually going to live in while I build the lodge. That building was built 100% with the trees from this property. Everything from the timber frame, the siding, the hardwood flooring, the cedar tongue and groove are about ready to mix. We're actually going to do hickory hardwood flooring. We did this lap siding and a poplar, all cut on the Woodland Mills mill. I mean, this is, we're actually trying to calculate how many board feet we ran through this machine in the last 2 years. And we've actually built some really big, amazing projects quickly, easily. And it's really all because of your machine. And I've said it 1,000 times. I am 100% glad that I purchased your machine. It does a lot of other things that you can't get with those big hydraulic machines. And that's really what I'm going to show you, how we actually can timber frame, not just cut logs, make siding, make flooring. We could do all of that, make camps. But we also use it specifically by cutting timber joints very precisely, where guys have a hard time, and it makes it less intimidating to actually go and build something with a saw as opposed to a chisel, which is really the old way it used to be done. So that's really why I considered starting this channel and actually reaching out to people. And we've actually met quite a few really good people that I've actually already invited to my mill to have a one-on-one experience and learn what to do and what not to do safely. That's the important part of it for me, is safety always. To be honest with you, when I was looking for my mill, my neighbor down here has a Woodland Mills. It was a little smaller. I'm not sure, 122, 126, but I used it, and after I left his place, there's no doubt I'm getting this. So the community is strong. Sometimes you just open your mouth a little bit and somebody will say something. But honestly, now, since I've had my mill and people kind of around my neighborhood know what's going on, there's 2 more guys within a half a mile of me that are running Woodland Mills mills. I am not limited in wood. I have 147 acres of hardwood forest, but also my best friend owns the 135 acres next to me, and we have a old growth pine forest that was grown actually there's a bunch of mills around here that make plywood and stuff like that. So I have an unlimited supply of pine, I have an unlimited supply of oak, hickory, chestnut oak, and poplar. Now, some of the reasons I use my oak in my frame, I like an oak frame. It's sturdy, very sturdy. Honestly, the size oak beams that I'm using could take up to 20 years to dry. in any circumstance. And in the procedures I use, I'm slowing that drying down. And that's really what we want, so it doesn't check so bad. But when you put an oak frame together, it is solid as a rock. Because you could actually see, I can hit my oak beams with a hammer and not worry about denting it or making impressions. Where pine is going to show you a lot more imperfections easily. The only thing I don't have figured out is I make so much firewood for all the guys around here, I cannot give it away. And I don't have the heart in me to throw it away. So I just I have massive piles of stuff that couldn't be used or half rotten, but it's awesome firewood. And I just let anybody in town need firewood come up, get it. Because I'd rather somebody use it than me have to burn it in a pile for nothing. So, and my kiln never stops. Honestly, we rotate, and that thing burns all winter, all summer. And honestly, I can't keep up with my scraps. I throw away nothing. We use it all. To be honest, I looked around at everything. And I actually bought the Woodland Mills mill when I told you I still had this house, and I bought the forest. And I really thought, hey, I'm just going to get me a mill and be let's call it a pro hobbyist and not be building buildings day after day after day. And I'm not going to lie, I looked into getting the bigger hydraulic one, and I really almost pulled the plug on it. But after all of the research and everything that I did decide to go down to, let's just call it a smaller setup mill, non-automated, none of that. And out of all of the choices that I could have had, it was bar none. Your customer service is, I've actually never seen customer service as good as I get from you guys. Your product is good. I run through a lot of wood. I've only lost one bearing in this whole time. So you could not do the precision timber frame cutting we're doing now with this mill with one of those hydraulic ones. Can't be done. You have to do it on something similar to what you have. Yours was the best choice. Now, over the years, I've had many mills. I've worked in many mill yards, and we've always had a mill like this that I've used for that. And yes, we had a lot bigger mills that hammered through beams, and then I actually would bring them back over to be sawed to do these specialty cuts that I do. So it was always helpful in my life, and that's why I purchased the Woodland Mills. I've always said I'm 100% happy at the choice I made. I've had people reach out and ask me where I learned it. It's not something I learned. It's something I developed over the years. And I'm sure there's other guys doing it. I just had not seen it anywhere. And it's precise and it's easy. I've actually been doing this my whole life. I contribute everything I have to my dad, who's a super master craftsman. And I know somewhere there's a picture of me at 3 or 4 years old sanding the stairs at the cabin they were building. So he put a big work ethic into me, and being an obsessive craftsman himself, it shows in what I do. So if I had to say anything, he'd be the most inspirational person in my life that got me to where I am. I'm going to be retired here soon. I don't go run my business anymore, so there's no reason in keeping my secrets a secret because I don't have any competition. I'm just up here for fun, building my own stuff. Might as well share it with everybody.